G'day Vanfam, we're the Svetos. We've got to make our way from southeast Queensland to Darwin, and we thought, why not make it interesting by travelling via Birdsville, the most iconic outback town in Queensland. This is amazing. How good is having this many flies all over you? Now, there's a heap of bucket list activities to do on a trip like this, like grab a beer in Australia's most remote pub, climb Big Red, the tallest sand dune in the Simpson Desert, soak in hot artesian bars, and heaps more. So we're bloody excited for this journey. This week, we set off from Quilpie and make our way out to Windora, where we get some unseasonal rain, which throws a bit of a spanner into our plans. Yeah, have a look at this. They're just caked in mud. We then make our way out to one of the most unique pubs in Australia and finally arrive in Birdsville. Thanks for joining us, Vanfam, and we hope you enjoy this week's episode. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
We're still in Quilpie. Nothing like a cheeky, hot little artesian spa to start the morning. Thoroughly enjoying myself.
And I've gone down and had a lovely artesian shower, but then I've realised that I've tarnished my ring. I thought it was gold. Guess not.
But guys, because we've been lapping it up in the luxury of these hot waters, we're now running late. We're at a caravan park. We've got to get checked out. So we got to get out of here. Let's go. So it turns out we were completely wrong. I did not think that Quilpie was going to have any sort of supermarkets or anything like that.
Yeah.
Turns out there are 2 supermarkets, so we're going to swing by a supermarket on the way out and do a bit of a top up.
Well, we definitely need to get toilet paper because we're out.
Yeah, well that would have been a terrible mistake if I wasn't right, because we got 1 roll left and that wouldn't last far between 4 people. Oh well, no shortage of toilet paper to choose from.
Double length.
I'm going to grab some fresh mushrooms. Alrighty guys, we are off. We got 230 odd Ks to drive today out to Windora.
It's only a couple of hours, just a short stroll.
Yeah, a little bit smaller than some of the stints we're going to be doing on this journey, because we've got a little bit of a problem. I've been checking the forecast and Windora and Birdsville are forecast to get a bit of rain today. It's forecast, it says a 90% chance of 5 to 10 mils. So with that sort of forecast, it seems pretty likely that you're going to see some rain.
Now that only seems like a little bit. With all the rain that's been happening in the outback recently and the road's only just becoming reopened, it's a little cause for concern.
It makes us a little bit nervous. There's not a whole lot we can do about it. The road that we're on right now out to Windora is sealed, so I'm not so worried about this leg. But the next leg out to Birdsville, if we can go the way that I want to go, that's unsealed. So that rain could be a bit of a spanner in the works for us.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's really not much we can do about it other than play it by ear. We're just going to drive out to Windora today and find our camp, which is on a river, which is also a little concerning considering there's going to be some rain. But yeah, all we can do is play it by ear and just see what happens. Luckily, there is an alternate route that we can take. It would just add on a significant amount of kilometres, but it would be sealed. So yeah, we just play it by ear and see what happens.
We'll play it by plan F, plan flexible, which is caravan life.
Anyway, we will see you at Windora at the camp that we're going to go to, and we'll see what eventuates with this rain. My shoes are like a kilo heavier. Have a look at this. They're just caked in mud.
You get like the side angle.
So we pulled into a free camp about 10 k's out of town called Cooper's Creek. It looked really nice, and I just thought I'd walk the tracks and have a look. And there was some spots in there that we could camp at, but as you can see in here, it's been raining and the track's really muddy, as you can tell by my shoes. So we have opted to instead just come into Windora. We're staying in at a little, what is it? The
Council
tourist
Road.
park.
Council
It's unbanned. Apparently someone's going to come around.
Yeah,
This is us. It's freezing.
I had to go get my like extra thick jumper out of the running jacket out because it's really cold.
It's 13 degrees at the moment.
We just took, sorry.
And
it's cold.
if you look up, there would be 0 solar coming in. So we just thought it might be best just to pull in here, hook up to some power, and we'll just wait and see what happens with this rain, because the next leg for us
is on dirt road.
Would be off-road, and well, not off-road, but unsealed. So this is potentially a bit of an issue for us. So we're going to put the cameras away for today and just wait and see what happens. Morning!
Morning, guys.
So it rained all night, which was quite concerning. Apparently Birdsville got 11 mil, they got 9 mil out here in Windora, but they didn't end up closing the road that we have to go on. See, we have travelled 1,200 kilometres to where we are, and we have finally reached the part where we get to some unsealed roads. And the day that we arrive, it was raining.
It was raining.
It was pretty concerning, but thankfully the roads haven't closed. We've ended up just resting a day in here anyway, because yesterday was really overcast, and we just thought, let's give the track one day to dry out so we get a little bit less mud all over the car.
But at least the sun's out today.
The sun's out, it's looking amazing, and we are excited for this next journey. So kettle's going to boil, we're going to jump in the car, and we're going to get on the road.
And just like that, we're off. We're actually not going very far. Windora is famous for its red sandhills, so there's a point of interest only 10 minutes up the road. We're going to go check out, because it's a beautiful day. After a couple of days of rain and overcast conditions, we were so grateful the weather improved and we get the chance to continue on our journey the way we had planned. Just outside Windora, you come across these big red sandhills known as the Botoota Sandhills. Pretty wild to see in the middle of all this flat country. The colour's so rich, it really stands out against the blue sky. We had a good climb up, and the view from the top makes the effort worth it. It's a bit of a shame that people can't obey the signs and ask you not to drive on the dunes, as it does detract a little bit from its natural beauty. But despite this, it's still a great spot to take it all in and appreciate the Aussie Outback's unique beauty.
Well, there you go, Ordell Sandhills. They were very pretty.
It was so red. I even got like a little jar of red dirt to take with us, I guess.
Red sand.
Red sand?
Sand, darling.
Sand. I wonder how it compares to other sandhills we might see along the way.
Like Big Red.
By Big Red if we go there,
I think Big Red might be a little bit bigger. It's in the name. Because the flies are horrendous.
They are insane. They're literally like crawling underneath my sunglasses trying to get to my eyes, and they're like literally going up my nose.
And I don't think it's going to get any better where we're heading. So
Yay.
Today we're going to push on to a little pub. It's called Botoota.
Botoota?
Botoota.
Botoota.
It's a pub in the middle of nowhere. And there's really not much out there other than a pub and a place to camp for the night.
I feel like Outback Outback is just all about what pubs you go to along the way.
Yeah. I reckon we'll get in there and have ourselves a schooner and say hello to the
dinner?
folks in there. I don't know about a dinner. We'll see how they look. Hey, Owen, do you want to go out and get the gate?
It's Kaylee's turn, isn't it?
Kaylee, do you want to get the gate, darling?
There you go. That's nice.
And we'll catch you at Botoota. Point of interest. The pointer will direct you to the view. Damn it. The pointer will direct you to view the hole through the hill of Mount Henderson. Also, how cool is it that everybody defaces signs these days? I reckon 5 years ago this sign would have been clear. Anyway, there's the pointer and there's the hole in the hill. There you go, there was a point of interest, darling. There was something interesting to stop at. There's a hole in the hill. Also, how cool is it? We've seen one car so far. I don't know how many Ks we have done. We don't have the GPS running, so we can't tell, but I'd say at least 70 Ks. I think it's pretty cool you can just leave the car in the middle of the road.
I know.
and have nothing to worry about, right?
Yeah, this is like the first time ever we're not stressed about like vlogging and stuff, because it's like there's no one around to like be annoyed at us.
Guys, the sides of the roads are very soft after all the rain, so if you're gonna grill me for parking on the road or not pulling off the road, that's why I chose not to pull it off the road. Right, back in the car, you're gonna do the old remove the fly dance. Hopefully we don't get too many in. Get all the flies off you.
So many flies.
There's something pretty special about taking the roads less travelled. Out here, you really start to grasp just how big Australia is. Having been living this lifestyle for a while now, we know that we are experiencing something that very few Aussies get to see, and we also know that experiences like these are few and far between, so we try not to take them for granted. We feel incredibly lucky to be able to explore this side of the country and to take the time to slow down and look around and experience these parts of Australia that are often overlooked. One of the most incredible things that we got to witness out on this leg of the trip were these massive flocks of Australian hobbies. There must have been hundreds of them, all gathered in certain areas. It was unreal watching them spiral through the air together, riding the wind currents. It was just awesome. But it definitely had us wondering, what on earth were all these birds eating out here? That's a lot of birds in a place that doesn't seem to have much going on. It wasn't long before the bitumen turned to unsealed dirt, and we started seeing plenty of signs of the recent flooding out this way. I reckon most travellers don't get to see it looking as green and lush as we did. It really was something special. Honestly, the condition of the unsealed road out to Botoota was surprisingly good. I was even joking that a Corolla would be able to make the trip, but I might have jinxed us. As you'll see later in the video, the stretch from Botoota to Birdsville was still holding a fair bit of water from the floods, and that made for a more interesting and slightly messy section of our trip. But after 220 k's we arrived at our destination for the evening, the Botoota pub. This is a place like nothing that we've ever experienced in our many years of exploring Australia. There's a Botoota Hotel there. Kaylee over there having a chat with some people.
We're parked up next to all the old vehicles. Apparently every one of these still runs. That is us just in here. We were here for about, 30 seconds before we had a beer in the hand. Having a chat with the folks in there. We booked ourselves in for dinner, so what we're going to do is cook the kids something simple for dinner, and Mel and I get to go in and have a nice dinner cooked on the pub, which we're looking forward to. So yeah, when we go in for dinner, we'll give you a look around in the old Botoota pub.
This is one unique Outback pub. The nearest towns are Windora, 220 kilometres to the east, and Birdsville, 170 kilometres to the west, with pretty much nothing in between. It really makes you wonder what on earth a pub is doing all the way out here. We got to hear a bit about the pub's history. It was run single-handedly by Botoota's one and only resident Ziggy, who by all accounts was quite a character. He kept the place going from the 1950s right up until 1997. After that, the pub sat in disrepair for about 20 years until it was brought back to life in 2020 by Robbo, who we were lucky enough to meet tonight. And get this, he reopened it just a month before COVID. How's that for bad timing? We enjoyed a hearty home-cooked dinner and even some dessert, and then a few beers by the fire, while we listened to stories from the locals who live and work in this remote part of the country. We're sure glad we stopped in.
Well, good morning, guys. Geez, it was cold this morning while I was out filming in that golden hour light. It was 8 degrees. It's only 13 degrees now, so it's not much warmer, but at least when you're in the sun, it doesn't feel so bad. When I was flying the drone this morning, I could see there's a big river out behind us. And here at the pub, Rob, the owner of the pub, who we spent all night chatting with out by the fire, has told us that he brought in these bikes and we're allowed to use them. So we're going to pick a bike and see if we can't go for a ride out and check out the river. Choose a bike. What do you reckon for Dad? This one?
Yeah.
That looks comfy.
It's that.
Or do I go the more sporty looking mountain bike? Clank. Woo! Who would have thought you'd be riding a bike down a dirt road in the middle of Australia, kids? You ready to see the amazing river, kids?
Yes. Yeah.
That's it. Couldn't find a big river. My gear's stuck in high range, so it's really hard to pedal, and I am wrecked from just a little ride, so that's it. As far as we're going, I'm gonna head back and pack up camp. Well guys, you could easily be mistaken for thinking that this is the most remote pub in Australia. But I did some Googling last night and it turns out it's not. Even though the nearest town is 220 kilometers that way with Windora and 160 kilometers that way with Birdsville, and literally nothing between here and there, it's not the remotest pub in Australia. That's in Birdsville, which is where we're heading today. But we had a great time out here, didn't we?
We did. Outback hospitality, nothing can be, like, it's amazing. I was just so blown away at how nice everyone was. And, you know, we had dinner here and it was great.
It felt like part of the family, and then sat around the fire.
Sat around the dining table together. It was really nice. It was
awesome. But guys, we're going to push on to Birdsville today. Get in the car, 160 k's of unsealed road. You ready?
I'm ready.
Is it? Get a smile, Mel. Hey, Mel. Well, guys, we made it.
Sign says
so. You made it. We're here in Birdsville. The road was a lot better than I would have expected, to be honest. It was really smooth for the most part. There was just a few like water crossings with mud through them that we had to cross. And come have a look at the car. Pretty dirty, but worse so. The van copped a fair bit of mud.
It's caked in mud.
But otherwise, I was pretty impressed. The road was really good.
Yeah, I'm
but
not
I don't
so
know
sure
if
about the flies.
I don't know if you've noticed, but the flies are, oh, there's one in my ear. The flies are absolutely horrendous.
They are pretty bad.
We were talking in the car, and there's quite a few things that we want to do here in Birdsville. But if we were to share that in this week's video, it's going to be a really long video. So we're going to wrap up this week's video here, guys. So thank you so much for watching.
And we'll see you on the next adventure, guys, if we survive the flies.
My God. Back to the car. Don't put them all in the car. Look at your back.
What do you mean?
Look at you. They must be like that for me. Oh my goodness. This is insane. Thanks for watching Vanfam, and we hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to support the content that we're creating, we've made it super easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen and it will take you directly to our online store, where you can pick up some of the products that we love and use every day, like our Boss jockey units and stabilizer legs, iCheck TPMS systems, Morby hooks, and much more. No pressure at all, guys. We're honestly just so grateful that you're here and watching. But every purchase you make will directly support us and help us to keep the adventures going and the content coming. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.